Call me on the phone. Let's talk. What's going on, everybody? It is 11:11 with Jenna. It is Thursday, April 1st. And you know, what's up? Sometimes it snows in April. Well, it's snowing. It is, as we speak, there's the tiniest little thing happening in different parts of the country. I've heard in even in Pittsburgh. I don't know why Pittsburgh. Strong connection to Pittsburgh, which I'm really excited about today. Um, I want to see who's here first. Hold the wire, everybody. I got to do. You know how I look at everything from different vantage points, as they say in the biz. Okay, I made it. Emily Hughes. Hi, beauty. How are you? Wow, 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 wow. I would love, love, love for you to come on the show, but you know that already. So when you're ready. Hey, Jay, I know 85 up in Lake County. Excited. How are you? How are you? How are you? So I am just doing a couple things here, and I'm just, oh, is that the cutest photo? Oh, that is so cute. Yesterday's lemon extravaganza, super, super, super fun. I made a lemon torte. Patty made lemon bars, which I said the reason why I didn't make them is they would be gone, girl. Like they would have been gone by noon. The torte, there's still a little bit left. I gave some slices away. Gracie had some. I had a little bit. Really good. I think I'm going to do that again. The chocolate cloud cake, poof, amazing. May have to do that on the show one of these days. And then she made these Italian egg bread baskets. Super gorgeous. Wow. Wow. Hey, Mama Grace. How are you? We are live here on 11:11 with Jenna, and I'm just going to bring this up on my iPad so I can watch it on my iPad. I know I'm being, thank you, Apple. Checking in. Oh, Bill, I'm so sorry you have to go because today's show is going to be the total bomb shit. It is, I just know it already. I mean, they're all the bomb shit, but you know, there are some levels that we get to that are different than other. Oh, Grace Mammina is watching today. Grace is going to be watching a lot today. You are the designated watching a lot. But like last night, Stephanie Morocco, Robin Carroll's daughter, so fun. So it gives me hope for our future. And I just adore her, and I can't wait to be in the same room with her or on the same plane with her going somewhere really cool that we've talked about. Oh yeah, you'll watch it later, and then I know you'll upload it to YouTube. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Bill Lindemann. All of the shows on 11:11 with Jenna are slowly but absolutely surely getting uploaded to YouTube. So soon there will be 750 and ongoing shows on YouTube, and we are starting to move towards multi-streaming and all that stuff. But some things take a little bit longer than others. Not in this case, though. When Dave Love started watching the show, I was doing the show like this, you know, like with my hand, holding it in my hand and projecting it onto my iPad. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Actually, first I did the first show just on my phone like this. Hi, without the tripod, like this. Without even this little thing. I just sat there and held it, and then by the end of the day or hour I was, but then I got this, then I used a candle with a rubber band, and then I, you know, eventually got a, good morning, Patty. I got a tripod and I used that, and then I still was projecting onto the iPad, and then months in after, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Had Happy birthday, dear Armando. Happy birthday to you. Not for me, but for you. Oh, you got the rowdy bunch. Oh no, simmer down, simmer down, simmer down. We love Mondo. So, happy birthday. I love you, Prima. My primo, my primo, my primo. You know, things evolved on 11/11 where I got 2 tripods, and then we started doing Kronroki, and I still do it like, hold on, Janice is going to sing here. Hold on, such and such is going to sing here. There was no Zoom. There was no much about 11/11. But one thing did happen on 11/11. I'm not digging my lighting today, you guys. How's that? That's a little bit. It looks so jaundiced in the other one. He said, I got a theme song for you. What? A theme song? How am I going to play the theme song? I don't know how to play the theme song. Well, I have a theme song, and I have an introduction, and I was playing it on my phone. Like I'd say, ladies and gentlemen, and then I'd press theme song, and then it would, then I learned how to download it onto my phone, and then I went to Zoom. But without the theme song, and without, this, for instance.
Coming this Thursday, lives will be changed forever. 11/11 with Jenna presents Corona Roki International Limited. Bring your best, just stay home. Live from her state-of-the-art studios, the Lily Pad, broadcasting throughout space and around the world to each and every home. 11/11 with Jenna.
And the theme song, right? How many times do you sing this when you're not watching the show?
Be there, or you will be talked about. 11/11 with Jenna. Corona Roki International Limited this Thursday.
You hear what I'm saying? How could 11/11 have existed without the theme song, without Corona Roki International? Thank you, Dave Love. But behind the man, behind the woman on 11/11 is the voice of said song. He's singing 11/11, and he's did the live from, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Peter Morley is about to join us on the show. I blew it. I'm so excited I blew it. As he walks in from the blue room. The behind the scenes. I know, right? We all do. I'm so excited I messed up the intro.
I mess everything up myself. Hello, Jenna. It is Peter Cottontail coming to you, your April Facebook Fool, on this 4/1/21 edition of 11/11 with Jenna. How are you?
I'm so excited that you're here.
I am here. Estoy aquí.
See?
And the tiempo hace here is snow.
Yeah.
We have about an inch of snow that we're not going to bother with, though, because within 24 hours, it will have melted like a chocolate bunny.
And will it be 70 at that point?
It will. Or 60-something.
60-something.
Now, congratulations to you, Jenna, because I understand that this 1st of April, 2021 marks the exact anniversary of your very first Facebook Live 11/11 live stream 11 years ago. Is that not so?
Well, actually, the anniversary is it's 1 year, and it was on March 23rd. But
So in other words, an April Fool has been played on yours truly.
I think so. Maybe that was a way to get you on the show. But it's your anniversary party.
Well, I know that regardless of how long you've been doing it, you, all of your listeners and myself agree that you should be able to do it twice a day, every day for the next 25,000 years. We're hoping for the best for you in that
I
regard.
want that to be. I think so. I love that idea. I love that idea. So I got to ask you a question.
Yes,
Completely. Is this beard a COVID beard?
ma'am. Funny you should mention that. I hope you appreciate my extra effort to look presentable for your program because I tinted the beard back to its pre-COVID color. So it better matches what's on La Cabeza. Because it was getting to be a ghastly white.
Was it?
Not like a Michael McDonald, Kenny Rogers, angelic sort of white. It was like a dripping stalactite.
Got it.
So it is now back to its original shade of, I think it's called Roadkill Rodent.
I get it. I see that.
So just
Can
for
you buy
you,
that color? You actually can purchase that. Is that a number like 26 roadkill rodent?
it is very hard to find. But I wanted to make sure that I look presentable for you. And I have this cool shirt on as well, this denim number that I look like I'm ready to go bale some hay.
Well, I could go put some denim on, but I like it because you're in the blue room. It goes with the blue room.
Does it go well? And the light, I borrowed my daughter's when she used to live here. She had this lamp. How's that? Oh, I just blinded myself. Because the other day when we did a test, we actually did a test video the other day, folks. That's how much we care.
Yeah.
And I looked like I was, in fact, I do now a little bit. The word I think is chiaroscuro.
You're not as dark as you were the other day.
Okay.
You have a little hue about you.
Yeah, the half shadow is an artistic effect, but it wasn't really working for me. Anyway, we discussed the other day that I don't like to sing in front of people because they have this annoying expectation that I should sound good. And I resent that. So instead, I like to sing in the studio where we can fix in the mix, so to speak, as we did for 11:11 with Jenna. However, I'm not going to sing, but I will demonstrate my basic non-musicality for you right now on my silvery April Fool's trumpet. See if you recognize this little ditty.
And
And we're off and running on the April Fool's edition of 11:11 with Jenna.
I think my dog was a racehorse in another lifetime because right when you started playing the second piece, she started barking.
You did not like that.
No, I think she enjoyed it. She's like, come on, you guys, let's go. I got $30 on the next. I don't know what she's talking about.
At Thistledown Raceway.
So what did you have for breakfast?
What did I have for breakfast? I usually have my combination that I call Mixie Mix of, what is the name of the cereal? I forget. Dates, raisins, and clusters. And I mix that with Honey Nut Cheerios and one other brand.
Wow, you go for it.
Something or other. Yes,
You
I
do
mixed
3
them all
boxes?
together. I'm sorry?
3 boxes, 3 different cereals?
3 different cereals blended together. Yes.
Do you blend them pre-breakfast? Like, is it in a big jar or do you take each box out and do a little?
I take each box out. I enjoy that process. Sort of a little mad scientist action in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Little of this, a little of that. I call it Mixie Mix.
Do you have more honey nuts than clusters?
Try not to.
Okay, so it's pretty
Try to keep it pretty even.
even.
I do indeed. What did you have for breakfast?
I had hot water with lemon and then celery juice, and I will soon make a smoothie of
So
berries.
you ease up to the digestive
Yeah, I
portion.
break the fast slowly. I do a bit of an intermittent fasting
Hmm.
in the, you know, from the evening on to the next day. And
Very.
I break the fast with a smoothie, usually.
Did you know, or have you ever heard, if someone has the hiccups, that one thing to try is to fool them by saying, to April fool them by saying, "What did you have for lunch?" And as they're trying to recall,
Ah,
it tends to break that pattern of
I
the
like it.
whatever that pattern is.
My dad taught me to do one with a, if this were a knife, like a butter knife, you balance it on, and that breaks it too. I think probably because you're concentrating on balancing.
Same principle.
Yeah.
Wonderful. We're helping folks out here on 1111 with Jenna.
One idea at a time. Okay, so I have so many questions for you.
I have
We'll
no
talk
answer.
about 1111 in a minute, but what was your first gig
My first
in
gig?
your voice?
Oh, in radio? I worked in radio. I worked in a station in Blairsville, Pennsylvania, circa 1983. In fact, it was March 83. And the format I actually loved. It was a nostalgia format. So since this was 1983, Benny Goodman, Harry James,
Nice,
Count Basie, Ella, Tony Bennett,
nice.
uh, yeah. And the folks who were of that vintage were only about 50, 55 years old at that time in 1983. But I always loved that music. So that was my first format, and I made $3.35 an hour. And I thought I had gone to heaven. You know, the early days in radio were more fun than the latter days because it wasn't corporate. It was showbiz
Right.
and not so managed and controlled. And as you can see, I'm kind of wild and uncontrolled sometimes,
You seem pretty wild.
at least for today.
Dave says, hold your ears and drink a glass of water. That one works, I bet. You could do it like how those women, that the contortionists, you know, how they do the back bend and then they would pick up the glass of water with their teeth.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I
I guess
love
that
that
would
kind of
work.
stuff.
I could do that with this cup, but um, okay, so that was your first gig. Can he give us an example of a broadcast of a seg from the broadcasting Basie to Ella, and what would that sound like?
A segue from Basie to Ella.
Yeah.
April in Paris. In fact, April 1st in Paris. The Count Basie Band here on WCQO Blairsville as we continue along for your April Fool's fun with the First Lady of Song, Ella. Coming up next. WCQO, have a great morning. It was a bit verbose.
How did you meet Dave Love?
Dave Love, I met through Kenny Blake, who you've had on your program. Kenny, the fabulous saxophonist. Uh,
You mean this guy?
yep, the black hat that we wrote especially for him.
Who's that?
I don't know. So we met Dave through Kenny Blake, who invited us to be on his very first CD for Dave's Heads Up label back circa 1991, in the last millennium that was. And we did Babylon Sisters for Kenny's first CD for Heads Up, which was called Interior Design. And Dave liked what we did, so invited us back for the second and third Kenny Blake CD, and we did covers of Benny and the Jets and Best of My Love by the Eagles. And we also got to do a couple of originals, The Black Hat and one called The Windfall, written by my pal and master vibraphonist, percussionist, drummer, audio engineer extraordinaire, David Walters. He did the music, I did the lyrics. But that's how I met Dave and had a lot of fun in the recording studios with him. I was scared out of my mind when I first went into Audiomation, it was in Pittsburgh. And I had all the parts practiced for Babylon Sisters. And I practiced the heck out of them. But when you're on the spot, and I saw he had a guitarist in there that I won't name, who was doing solos, and Dave would say, nah, that's not it. Go another direction. Come on, this is jazz music here. And I thought, oh no, I'm next in the torture chamber. So I went out and did levels and the first part of the harmony, and he sat in there and he said, great, do it again. And because I had rehearsed and the Lord above was with me, I made it through and he liked it. So that was a heck of an experience. It really was. But we had so much fun after the pressure was off, so to speak, joking around. That working with Dave and Kenny Blake, that's it, musically, that's the best thing
And
ever
I bet
happened.
just being in the studio with the
Oh
two of
yes.
them.
I'm
The
getting
three
too
of them.
serious here. I'm going to cry.
Okay.
Next question.
How do you cry? Do you speak when you cry? Is it a dramatic cry?
No, it's more of an embarrassing type of weepy, wimpy, not very manly type of thing. I'm not going to do it for you, Barbara Walters. Wasn't she the one who used to?
Get
Is
people
it
to cry.
Oprah? Or is it Oprah?
I could get anybody to cry,
Could you really?
but I'm not going to.
Don't do it.
I'm not gonna do it. I won't do it. So and then years and years later, you get a call from Dave Love, you get an email from Dave Love. How did this happen?
You mean for your Jenna jingle?
Yeah.
Uh,
I cried when I first heard it. Well, I
oh,
cried for a couple reasons. I cried like, oh my God, this is really happening. This is real. And how am I going to do this? I don't know how to do this because I don't know the technology and what am I going to do? And oh, Dave, what am I going to do? Yeah.
I'm humbled that you feel that way. Dave and I would email back and forth through the years. In fact, his heads up was headquartered. He'll have to tell you 10, 15 years ago, right near where I grew up. I think it was Beechwood in Cleveland, southeast side of Cleveland, and I'm from Warrensville. Oh, I
Oh,
love
okay.
those. I love those shades.
Aren't they groovy?
Very attractive.
This light gets a little bright for me sometimes. And plus you have glasses on. So I thought, it would like get more of a
We match.
in common
But
vibe.
we would connect from time to time after the Kenny Blake CDs, which were very successful, by the way.
Yeah.
And the one that followed I wasn't involved in was even more successful. By that time, the smooth jazz format had come to the foray in nationwide, run by Broadcast Architecture.
Oh yeah. I remember Broadcast Architecture.
And Dave Love has a lot of artists still in that format.
Mm-hmm.
So we would connect there when I worked for Smooth Jazz 1047,
Uh-huh.
WJJJ.
WJJJ.
Yes, it was great and a very successful station with a 7-7 share when they shut it off. And the reason they did that is because they were afraid that a competitor was going to get the jam and hits format, which is more disco and R&B oldies.
Sure.
So they just cut it right off with no warning. Radio can be cruel. But
I was part of a radio station, K-Jazz, in the Bay Area that I was there. I was on the air with my friend John and everybody when they went off the air at 11:59 and a half.
Oh, as opposed to 11:11.
As opposed to 11:11.
Yes. Now, before your next question, Jenna,
I'm still waiting.
I want to give a little advice to all of our listeners. We're on a Zoom call here. And folks may have heard in the news that sometimes employees of companies have done inappropriate things on Zoom calls. So I have instructed my lovely assistant. This is April Uno, by the way. Say hello to April.
April. Well, I need.
I,
How about we do this? Let's do this. Can you go off camera again and I'll introduce her properly? Ladies and gentlemen, April Uno to the kitchen.
So I have instructed April that since this is a professional Zoom call, that there will be no hanky-panky during this program. Notice how April has cleverly avoided and evaded the COVID mask mandate.
She's smooth one there.
She has come to realize if you don't have a head, you don't need a mask.
Don't need.
You got a no head, you need a no mask. Senza la testa.
And she can kind of hang out anywhere, it looks like.
Yes. April Fool, that wasn't an actual human. That was my wife's dress. What do you call it? A dress form? A dress mule?
Did your wife sew?
She can sew very well, yeah. Mostly what she does is sell everything in sight on eBay.
Oh, really?
She loves to do that.
Did you buy that globe on eBay?
No, that is, I think that is my brother-in-law's globe from when he was a child.
Beautiful.
Yes, so probably the countries that are demarcated on that globe no longer are applicable.
Those are the best kind.
Yes, then you can go back and see, wow, the British Empire was a little too large.
So Dave, I have to know how this all happened.
Oh, for 11/11.
Yeah.
Well, he called back in November and asked me to do that promo for your show in the monster truck style, which I've done quite a bit of over my 38-year radio run. And he wrote the copy and had all those sound effects suggestions. So I put that together, but he also asked for that little jingle, and he said, do something Michael McDonald, Steely Danish. Steely Danish? Steely Danish, anyone?
Squared.
And
Danish, I like it.
So I said, he actually sang something to me. I said, do that again. And he did, and I kind of got the general idea, but then he went and made an MP3 and emailed that to me. And it's basically what you hear. He outlines the chords and sings it very slowly, and then he does it more in tempo to give me what to do with it. See, that's what he's good at. He was a record producer, big time. So he knows how to get what he wants. So hopefully he did.
It's interesting because as I listen to this, I've had the same comment. My speaking voice is a lot different than my singing voice.
Yes.
So is yours.
Well, they're two different parts of the brain for me, I guess. But the radio voice that you hear that I have to use so that people can hear me, because as we've discussed in my day-to-day activities, I tend to mumble.
Mumble.
You hear what I'm saying? So in radio, you have to project, and you have to, same way with singing, of course. Or you can develop a style where you kind of let people or invite people to lean in. I'm sure you do that when you're singing. Sometimes you're up there blasting it out for effect. Other times you're saying, like Peggy Lee, lean in and hear my conversation that I want to have with you.
I'm not a big blaster. I'm more of a lean in kind of
Well,
guy.
when you do like Peggy, as I used as an example, you do it very effectively. So when it comes, it's really something, as opposed to, she's doing that all the time.
Peggy.
So the radio voice, as opposed to the singing voice, back in the day that I began in radio, you really had to have that kind of a sound. Today you have to have a sound too, but it's very different. The sound that we developed back then was more Ted Baxterish, as you can tell. Even though even back then they said, don't do that so much unless you're doing a promo voice, which is what I did a lot of.
Did
But
you ever do the raceway, the Sunday raceway one?
yes, and that's what we kind of did. That's what we kind of did for
Can you do
your
that for me? Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
Sunday, Thompson Drag Raceway, East Cleveland, Ohio. Drag racers, Big Daddy, Don Garlits, and more. Of course, got to have the echo.
So, okay, now people that are on the radio now, what do you think of this vocal fry thing? Is that
Vocal what?
they call it the vocal fry? They talk like this.
Oh.
And they do the up talk, the up talk.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Upspeak.
Right.
The vocal fry really bothers me because someone sits there and talks like this, and then they start to talk up here a little bit, and then they go back down here a lot. It hurts me to listen to the vocal fry.
I understand what you're talking about. Yeah. The good voiceover people now, and have you noticed, this is a good thing, especially since I am retired, an old white guy, there's very little of that anymore, unless it's a movie promo type of thing for effect, where it's in a world where Jenna is doing 11-11 for 25,000 years. That kind of voice you'll still hear, but mostly it's female.
Yeah.
It's African American, even gay voices now.
Yeah.
Because it's a different audience than
world.
what we grew up with. You're younger than me, but when I grew up, it was all white people and mostly males doing the voiceovers. No more. And the ones who are doing it today, doing it well, are voice actors.
I have a very good friend. Her name is Julie Cohen, Jules Nation, actually, out of Los Angeles, and she does like Kraft macaroni and cheese. Things
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's the one that she gets.
And their goal now is to sound like average people, but better. So they're voice actors.
But the vocal fry thing. So
yeah, I don't.
Do you have what are your tricks to where you wake up? I do a thing. I wake up every morning and I sing these not certain notes, but just certain runs, just to see if I can do it. Oh, am I in good voice today? What do you do when you are not in good voice?
I don't do anything anymore because I'm retired.
Before you're retired and you had a gig and you wake up with a sore throat, do you have, was it honey? Was it fried chicken? Was it
nothing?
Nothing? Okay.
Nothing.
I
mean, I drink coffee. I drink coffee, but no. And when I first started out, though, I was so self-conscious of it that I would do a lot of warm-up. And I would do tongue twisters, and I would read out of the newspaper and drive.
What kind of tongue twisters? Can you give us an example of tongue twisters?
Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, then how many pickled peppers did Peter Piper pick? See, I made a few clams there. I'm out of practice. Then there's big black bugs, bleed blue blood. Big black bugs, bleed blue blood. Rubber baby buggy bumpers, rubber baby buggy bumpers. I slid a sheet, I slid upon a slitted sheet, I sit. And of course, our favorite, I am a mother pheasant plucker. I pluck mother pheasants. I am the most pleasant mother pheasant plucker that ever plucked a mother pheasant. Don't try that at home.
I'm going to watch the show again and rewind that. What example are you asking about, Dave? And did you by any chance know my cousin? His name was Art Ortega. Did you ever run across that name in radio?
I did not.
Okay.
Or I can't recall.
My cousin Armando said pre-corporate radio guys all seem to know each other. Did Peter ever meet Art Ortega? We loved Art. Art's no longer on the planet. Art's now in our heart, but he was one hell of a radio guy.
What market was Art practicing in?
Mondo. Every time I met him, he'd always take my CDs and then they would end up on his radio show somewhere in the world, but
What station was he on?
we're waiting. But
I see.
there's a bit of a delay, so we'll have to wait for that.
I know pretty much everybody in Pittsburgh, but that's it.
But then you went on to after the smaller radio stations, you did something else that many of us knew about. That thing with the heart thing. iHeart.
Oh yes, iHeartRadio was my final employer there. Yes, and that came as a result of all these different companies merging in the middle 1990s.
They loved that merge, didn't they?
Yeah. One company would swallow up the other one, and the last one standing was called Clear Channel at the time. And then that became iHeart when Bob Pittman became its CEO. Bob Pittman, who was one of the instrumental figures in MTV.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then AOL. And so he's brought it more up to date with, instead of just radio, they do all kinds of digital platforms, the iHeartRadio app and podcasting and all that noise. And I worked for iHeart up until 2020, but the stations in Pittsburgh were 3WS and Big 1047, your big country 1047 were the final formats that I worked with.
So you worked in country.
Doing their spots.
Uh-huh.
So commercials. So I did a lot of country acts. The Cowboys, they all have names like Brad and Rain and Randy, and they all and the women love them. It's a country format for young women, as opposed to I mean, mostly, as opposed to the old country, Johnny Cash, Outlaws, Waylon and Willie. And the songs are always about the girl. She loves Jesus and Elvis. Those type of things.
That's cool.
So I would do spots for them.
How fun. We're coast to coast right now. I have people watching in California, different parts of up and down California, all the way over to New York City right now.
Ooh, I got to get my head in the frame then.
Get in there. Art was a program director in Boston and in Columbus, Ohio. So
Columbus.
I don't think he ever did the Pittsburgh thing, Pennsylvania thing. Have you ever lived anywhere else besides Pennsylvania? This happened earlier. He'll be back. They've been having some Wi-Fi issues in their hometown area, maybe because of the snow. It sounds like there's more snow in Pittsburgh. Oh, you're back. Andy's back. Did a little bewitched moment there.
You can see me?
Yep, I can see and hear you now, but for a moment you did the bewitched statue thing.
Yeah, you did too. I cannot see you, so let me figure that out. Or it doesn't matter, as long as you're interacting with me and can see me and can hear me.
Maybe your video stopped? Down in the corner, is it red?
I'm going to go back to the link and see if you can let me in again, maybe, or if it'll just.
Yeah, you could leave and come back.
I'll just do this and see what may develop. There we go.
Can you see me now?
I can see you now.
Awesome. See, we did it. So what has this past year been like for you?
Well, my wife broke her hip.
Oh no, she did not.
She did, right about the time that I was let go. Right prior to that, she had successful back surgery.
Oh.
Her leg was killing her, and they gave her back surgery that worked great. And then within 10 days, she was going out to the mailbox with her eBay package, and her left toe was drooping as a result of this nerve problem with the back. She caught it on the lip of the road there and fell and broke her hip. So she had a rough time there for several weeks.
Mm.
But it kind of worked out because once they said, Pete, it's been fun but we're done. I could come home and be her full-time caregiver.
Good.
So I've done a lot of that. And also we have a special needs grandson who takes his courses with her. And once he's done, we get together and have some fun, go outside or watch the Three Stooges.
He likes the Three Stooges.
I make him like it, but he does. And
Good.
he loves to pick out tunes on the piano, and he's getting good. He's starting to do some three-part harmony and doing some clever fingerings. So we hear
I was
quite a bit of
hoping
his
to hear him.
repertoire. And
So
you go ahead.
he's on, is he taking classes on Zoom? Or is he?
Yeah, I believe it is. I believe it is Zoom. Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's a great school in Monroeville nearby, but of course it's online now. That's called News Story. A plug for a news story that is helpful to people with autism.
Oh, good.
Yes.
And I'm going to need your address. I want to send you a book that my uncle wrote about. My uncle has 2 grandchildren, Mama, with autism, and he wrote a story about that.
Oh, I'd love it.
Yeah, I'll send you a copy. His name was Gene Mandrino. He's the one I asked you about if you ever worked with him. He was the president of Leo Burnett in Chicago,
The ad agency.
the ad agency. Back in the day, he was like, in the 60s, 70s, 80s. He was the McDonald's guy and did Plop Plop Fizz Fizz and all kinds of stuff. But he's now making he writes children's books.
Oh, that's wonderful. We will accept that gladly.
Okay, good. So an average day is you hang out at home in the blue room? Is this a normal?
Yes, the manhole, as my wife calls it.
Got it.
And then I do I occasionally get some gigs with ad agencies to do spots for them. And I have the Pro Tools set up pretty much that I had when I did your jingle. And I do original stuff, some instrumentals, some vocal things.
Are you writing any songs?
Yes, yes, always.
I really want to hear some.
Yes, and I want to hear some of yours because I understand that you write songs.
I do. I have a lot of. I get sort of stuck in the middle of them.
That's the process of coming up with the lyrics is so fun for me.
Yeah.
I drive myself crazy. I know there's something in there, and then I'll go to thesaurus and rhyming dictionary and say, well, maybe this. It winds up sometimes nothing like it originally began because, as you know, when you're writing a song, the first thing that comes out when you're singing is your starting point.
Yeah.
Like whatever word came out with that note, okay, my subconscious has something there for me to dig down to.
I'm working on a project with a guitarist by the name of Ray Obiedo, who's out of the Bay Area. And, we do the Zoom thing together. And we're working on a couple of tunes. And then Rolf, a gentleman that I work with that has the beard thing, but it's really long, like down to his belt buckle kind of thing. I don't know if he wears a belt. But we get together on Zoom and write.
It's fun. I was telling you, and I'll tell your listeners and viewers before we began that I was watching some of your videos and I really, really liked watching the detectives. And I thought this has to be her take on it for the last 5 minutes or so of the song where you mention every detective show. I won't try to recreate any of it because it's just too damn good. Folks, you watch that one. Also, Abby Lincoln tributes, The World is Falling Down.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Beautiful.
Thank you. And that's my friend Chuck. Dave wants to know if the two of us can write a song right now together.
Write a song right now together?
I guess we could do some, if we were given words from the audience, let's get some words from the audience and we could write a song.
Is the audience providing the words now?
They will in one moment. And then the rest of your day, when you're out of the manhole and hanging out with your grandson, are you walkers? I
try to get him to go to the local playground and there's 2 or 3 of them. And there's a lake we walk around. I'm trying to get him to ride his bike more. He has trouble with balance, so he needs the wheels and back. He'll
Me
be
too.
he'll be 11 years old, so
Hey, see, he's 11. He will be.
he will be in August, yes, and then he can be part of your club,
He
the
can't.
1111 Club.
I've had quite a few 11-year-olds on the show, and they give me a lot of hope in the world.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a 24. Was Stephanie 23 or 24 last night? And I went, this is the Gen Z, good generation of people. But the 11-year-olds, I think, are going to really change the world.
I hope so. I'm not so sure people of my vintage have done that great a job,
So
including
we
me.
have some words. You ready? We have rose, love, bulldogs, applesauce, Michigan, one-armed lady, rutabaga, kitty, fruit
Wow.
bat. Do you want me to tell them to you again? Rose, love, bulldogs.
Rose, Rose, I love you, and I love your bulldogs. See, that's that big country 1047 influence. Your line.
And I love it when the one-armed lady fixes rutabaga in her kitty, fruit bat, love, and all that kind of thing that he does.
Wow. Now, see, I can't even hang with that. And I stole my portion of the song. There is an actual song that goes, Rose, Rose, I love you. And so I stole that. But you actually vamped something original there. So,
well, because that's what I do. People give me words and then I write up. I can do that. I can be on stage.
Yeah.
They give me 5 words. I write a song. But then to sit down and finish this serious song, I get.
As Kenny Blake told me once, regarding the way I write and the way he plays, he says, "Well, you guys are oil painters," and he says, "I'm a watercolor painter."
Ah, I like
So
that.
I think that there's an analogy there. You can just stroke it all out. Me, I have to race and get everything just right and don't look yet. Okay, here it is.
Do you write all your lyrics? You work with another person. You mentioned it a little while ago.
Dave, when I work with Dave, he writes the music. But I write music and lyrics, but I'll add his lyrics. I'll add lyrics to his music. I haven't written with anybody else other than him. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Oh, Kenny's Coffee Bean. Oh, I didn't write that. That was Jack Bishop. I just sang that. Never mind.
Do you perform with this said Dave person?
We did circa 1980, 81, something like that. I haven't really performed, although I would do one-off gigs with Kenny when he would release a CD just as a backup singer.
Oh,
But I
fun.
haven't. I did in the studio. I can fix in the mix, as we say. So that's not performing, though.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, you have to perform, but it's not performing it as you do. That's performing.
I'm not doing a whole lot of that right now, but I do.
No, and it's got to be driving you nuts.
It kind of is. But I did a session on Saturday that we covered After the Gold Rush, a Neil Young tune.
Oh yeah.
With my friend Carl and Gary was the engineer, and my friend Tim was there as a co-producer. And I'm working with a pianist by the name of David Lom, and I think we're going to go in the next week to record about 15 songs, just piano and voice.
Wonderful.
Yeah, I'm really excited about that.
Is there someone behind that production that's going to pay the freight, or does somebody have their own studio?
We're paying for it.
Self-produce. That's what I did with Kenny Blake. The last thing he did, I paid for it all, but in that way,
Oh, good for you.
I could
Thank
get,
you.
in that way, I could get my originals on. It's like, I'm paying for this. You can, but he was cool with that.
Hey, I'll
And
sing your originals anytime. Send them
well,
my way. I
I
have a chair that I have an uneven floor in my house, so and I have a chair that likes to roll. So I'm not trying to leave you,
that's all right.
but it's hard.
I will send you my stuff. And if you
I want
find
to hear them.
you find anything applicable and would like to give it a whirl, I'd be honored.
Cool.
I'd be humbled, just like I am with your adulation for this 11:11 with Jenna logo.
Would you consider coming back sometime?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
It sounds like you are ready to wrap it.
Not at all. We can keep talking.
Oh.
You know what I'm wondering? I'm gonna give Dave Love a call.
All righty.
Can you hold on a sec? No,
Mhm.
I'm not, dude. This show's been like, on my anniversary day and other couple 3 days, we've done fundraisers for 11:11 with Jenna. They've gone as long as I think 14 and a half, 15 hours.
Uh-oh.
So I'm not going anywhere. Are you?
Goodness.
Do you need to leave?
Not as yet.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna call Dave Love. I need to just get his number here
Number, please.
so I can dial him up, as they say in the biz. Ring him up.
Bring him into the conversation.
Zeros take a long time.
You have got an actual dial telephone.
Oh yeah.
I just noticed that.
11:11 with Jenna, how may I help you?
Hi, may I speak to Dave, please?
Yes, can you hold the phone, please?
Yes, thank you.
He has a social secretary as well.
He's got good music too. Hold music.
That would make sense.
Who's calling, please?
I'm sorry.
Who's calling, please?
This is Jenna and Peter.
Hold the phone, please.
Thank you. I like their intercom system. His receptionist just yells for his name. Dave.
Hi, this is Dave.
Hey, Dave Love.
Hey, how you doing?
Great. How are you?
Good. Are you wrapping it up with Peter? Is he still on with you?
He's still here.
If a car could talk, it would probably say, trade me in for a Chevy today at Lynn Chevrolet, where the best automobiles are made.
Wow.
Something tells me he wrote that one.
Dave Love, did you write that?
Yes, I wrote that. That was for my first jingle.
Really?
I thought so.
Yes, Peter is sitting right here.
How you doing, Peter?
Hello, Sir David. How are you?
Hello, Pedro. I love this guy. He is so talented and funny and just so creative. I gotta tell you, one of the most creative people I've known on the planet.
I can't
Thank
even
you,
imagine
thank
the two of
you.
you in the same room. I would be laughing the whole time.
We had some really, really fun times together in Pittsburgh and in other parts of the world.
Yes, and Dallas as well.
Yeah.
Dallas was
really
a lot of fun.
gifted. He's really gifted and smart and funny and an amazing vocalist and songwriter.
Amazing. Beautiful voice.
Yeah.
I want to sing with him.
I hope you told him how many people have sung the theme song that he sung and the commercial and how it's been such an integral part of the show for so long.
Every day, 4 times a day. And, I have people that call me up on the phone and I'll be hello. And they go 11:11 with Jen. They do.
Dave, she did tell me all that, and I still think you're both playing an April Fool's joke on me. How can this be?
No.
Well, I'm glad we have reconnected so that I can get a little bit of ego boost here, because that was very nice. That assessment of yours, Peter Morley, truly is above and beyond.
You know, we've been very blessed to have a lot of creative people over the last year come on there from all walks of life. And it really has been, community and connection, as she refers to it. And, it's really been a beautiful kind of thing. We've been very excited to participate in a small way.
Wow.
Yeah, I've read articles about it in what was it, Mercury News that was online
I
talking about.
actually got the newspaper version of that the other, like the hard copy. It was actually in the newspaper, like,
Yeah, not just in
the
online.
byline and on the front page. And then, yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. Well, Dave, you've been a huge part. And when you first, I'm going to get a theme, you got the theme song. I'm like, what theme song? What do you mean theme song? And then this came about. Let's just play it. Let's just all have a moment here.
With Jenna, weeknights, weekdays, and every day of the year.
Happy April Fool's Day to all.
Yes, nobody knows, but it's just the three of us watching.
Well, there are 7. My mom is still watching, so Mama Grace is here, and Armando's here, and Rob Morocco's here. So
Hello
there
to all.
are even people in Canada watching the show right now, Peter.
Oh, hello to our neighbors to the north. Indeed.
What are you having for lunch today, Dave Love?
I think I'm going to have a cold cut sandwich. We went to the grocery store last night and got some sandwiches.
Nice. Are you a turkey guy, a ham guy, sliced
we are
roast
a
beef?
turkey guy, but we are ham people as well. So I think I'm going to, I don't know. I've got this new bread that I'm kind of enjoying.
Are you getting did you get the Dave's bread?
The Nature's Own perfectly crafted, thick.
You toast it? Are you a toast?
Yes.
And cheese?
Cheese and tomato.
Tomato.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds lovely.
Are there any foods that you dislike?
Broccoli.
Really? Broccoli?
Broccoli, spinach, cauliflower, cabbage, asparagus, Brussels sprouts. Those things are not edible to me.
So the cruciferous line.
Exactly.
For sure.
Exactly. Can't do it. As the Dana Carvey George Bush impersonation used to be. Can't do it. Not gonna do it.
Not prudent.
Not gonna.
So when you go out and they do the mixed vegetable medley, you don't pick that one. You pass on the medley.
Only if it's P's and Q's and potatoes.
What about you, Dave Love?
Oh, I eat everything.
Everything. There isn't one.
Everything. And I guess the one thing that I can think back to was there was one moment several years ago where we were in the grocery store and we were in the meat department and Ruth had picked up this large cow tongue.
Oh.
And I said, well, what are you going to do with that? And she goes, well, we're going to eat it. And I go, well, maybe you're going to eat it, but I'm not eating that. And then she started laughing. I said, what's so funny? She goes, you've been eating this for the last 20 years. We've been married.
You didn't even know.
I had no idea. I didn't realize it was barbacoa. And she just sticks it in a crock pot. The next thing you know, she's chopped it all up so fine. And
It's the tongue. Yeah, because when it's crock pot, it doesn't feel like you're chewing on your tongue.
No, really, I eat anything.
He's an omnivore.
Yeah. Did you hear that I became the president of South Africa this morning?
Yes. Tell us about this. And you're packing away.
Yeah, we got a phone call. Once we think it was a real call, and said, "Pack your bags. You're coming back to the motherland
How wonderful. When do
Yeah.
you leave?
soon."
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're going to
After
be
we're-
doing 11:11 in Coronaroki from South Africa.
Probably, but we'll have a whole slew of new people that can join us.
We've had people, Peter, we've had people on a Coronaroki, which happens, on Thursday nights. Now it's the third Thursday. We're going to have to figure that one out in the
I
June.
think it would be amazing if Peter could come and sing. Matter of fact, he could play his tracks through his Pro Tools and then just do one of his songs like a real karaoke thing. That would be over the top.
Did you hear that, Peter?
Not gonna happen.
Why?
Why not?
I don't perform live, as we said, because I'm too bashful, self-conscious, and otherwise abashed.
What about a wig?
What if you use that other body? Your sit-in over there.
No, I leave the singing to the Jenna Mamminas of the world, the live singing,
Like the unknown comic, we could have the headless
the masked.
vocalist.
Yes. I give credit to those singers who come on The Voice and all that type of stuff, and they're really good. But these other shows, The Masked, this, that, and American Idol, I don't like that. Me no like.
Yeah, people keep asking me, why don't you go be on The Voice? Because I don't like competition.
Right.
I don't like competition, and I don't like competition.
Yeah.
But
They're the gentlest version. They don't humiliate people there. But
right.
I still, like you say, it's like just sing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't judge.
What are you having for
Yeah.
lunch today, Peter?
I do not eat lunch. In fact,
You do the mixy mix and then you kind of chill for a few hours?
you actually wormed out of me a well-kept secret that I eat at all, because in all of my 24 years of employment at the last company I worked for, no one ever saw me eat. So I would tell them, I never eat. I exist solely on the milk of human kindness. And they would just scratch their heads because they never saw me eat. So I actually wormed it out of me. I do have my mixy mix, and then I eat a rather heavy dinner at about 11 p.m. right before beddy bye, which people advise against. And then I go to bed and have gas all night. I'm quite the catch.
So Debbie must just love this whole program.
Yes, luckily we do not live in the same boudoir any longer.
So you're awake at 11 p.m.
I'm awake, yes, but I'm soon to be retired. I nod off between 11:45 and midnight usually.
So Coronaroki starts at 11 p.m. the third Thursday of every month.
Does this have significance for me?
Well, it could, don't you think, Dave Love?
Oh, I think that golly, we had Peter in the mix. It could be over the top.
Well, keep dreaming, Peter.
Maybe, what about this, Peter? How about sometime you could be there for Coronaroki and you could introduce the people that are coming on.
Oh, now there you have something. You've got something there.
Live from New York City, it's Mark Adams.
Yes, Dave could do it as well. Yeah, as long as I don't have to act like Ryan Seacrest. That guy rubs me the Don't.
You don't have to, and you don't have to wear the suits. Do you own any suits?
I do.
Suit up.
I do, and when I
Maybe you can wear this dress.
Yeah, you could wear that dress. That little
yes,
leopard action over there. That Kruger action.
I could put on my suit, and I promise you, I would look good enough for burial. I really do, especially with the gray beard now.
It's a good what is it? Roadkill.
Oh, the shade of my beard. It is roadkill.
You guys are funny. I can only imagine what you're, because when we're in the studio, it's just a different world.
It is.
I don't eat when I'm in the studio. Everyone says, let's have lunch. I'm like, lunch? No lunch. Just keep going. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Yeah, it gives you gaseous ennui.
Just, kind of adds to the mix that I don't need. I've had, or I've eaten something and then there's a gurgle in my throat and I can hear that in the recording.
Exactly. The same way with voiceover.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't like that. They don't start to talk like that.
Do you do other voices? Like, do you do character voices other than your?
I do. I do. And it takes a lot of editing, but I can come pretty close to some imitations of people. Could never do Donald Trump.
That's good.
Not that I'd want to. There are actually some very funny Donald Trump impersonators online. I haven't checked with that for a while. But character voices was something I liked to do, yeah.
Is there anyone in particular that you love to do that we would know?
Boy, they were invented characters a lot of times. As far as impersonations of people, I've forgotten. People who were current at the time, I guess. But I'll send you a demo of some of the things that I've done with character voices, and you can play them on 11/11 next time around.
Thank you so much for being here, Peter. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you both for being so complimentary. I'm humbled, and again, I think this is an April Fool's joke on me, but I'll take it.
And I'll be thinking about it all day. This was great.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then,
Peter, this is really great.
Thank you, David. And just before I say ta-ta, I want to wish all of your viewers a blessed bunny and a very happy Easter and a festive April Fool's as well. Bye for now.
Bye. Peter Morley,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Dave.
Good day.
Now that was the coolest exit ever. Did you see that? How he flipped? That was so cool. Thank you, Peter. That was fantastic. You guys, that was so fun. All right. Well, I got stuff to do, places to go, things to do, songs to sing. David Lam and I are getting together again today, and we are going to, go through our repertoire that we're building up. And you'll see it one of these days on the show. I'm not sure. Can you see me still? Am I still here? Yeah. Peter. Magnificent. Funny. Super groovy. Like one of the coolest people. And Dave was right. He said, Dave said to me, he goes, you think I'm funny? Hang out with this guy. I'm glad I got to hang out with him. Thank you, Dave Love. And thank you for answering. Thank you for picking up the 1111 hotline. All right, tonight, Conversations with the Creatives. Come check it out. See you tomorrow, Armando. Yeah, we'll be celebrating. I'll eat a little bit of I made a chocolate cloud cake. I also made an almond torte. So I'll have one of those two things. See, I'm speaking a little bit clearer right now because I was talking with my friend Peter for quite a while. So I understand where he's coming from in his conversation and speak. Thank you, Rob Morocco. Thank you, Armando, Dave Love, Patty Lohman, all of those. John, San Diego, Mama Grace. I will see you in a moment. I'm going to get on my parka and go for a little walk with Lily and Pearl. And then we're going to go cruise around and do some stuff. So you guys have a beautiful day. And I'll see you tonight with the Collins family. I'm still smiling. Happy thoughts. Happier words and the happiest and healthiest heart to all of you. Huge hug. And a heart hug. And thank you, Debbie, for getting Peter on the show today. What show are we talking about? You mean this one? Jenna. So much fun. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Debbie. Big round of applause. And thank you, Dave Love, and all of you, and Peter, and have a safe day out there. Stay warm, stay cool, stay healthy, be nice. Share the show. Share the show. Bye-bye. Love heart.